Hi, pop-up people, it's Lisa, and I'm here to talk to you about oil pastels. So oil pastels look a lot like crayons, but they're better because they're softer, so they're easier, especially for younger kids, to get a good coat of color, and the colors are more intense. So if you're drawing on top of something like cardboard, this is a good choice because you're going to see all the colors. So I am going to flip my phone around so you can see my tabletop here, and I'm going to show you four things. The first one is using a stencil. So this is a piece of cardstock. These are, just cardboard from a box. And what you do is you want to use a simple shape. I have circles here. You could do hearts, stars, that sort of thing. And then you put a thick coat of oil pastel all around the edge like this. You go over it a few times. And then you hold on to this. You have to really press down. And then with your finger, you can push out like this. And you can see, isn't that cool? This is really fun with, you could make a stencil that looks like a Christmas light or any kind of light. And you can make it look like the light is glowing. Also, these would make cool fireworks effects. Like if you took a black piece of paper and a shape kind of like this, maybe smaller, and you did all these radiating lines like this, it would look really cool. So another thing I want to show you too is sometimes people don't like the way that feels, pulling their finger through the oil pastel onto the paper. So you can put a paper towel around your finger and use that instead. I would say the only downside with oil pastels is they can be a little messy. You definitely get some on your hands when you're done, but I think it's totally worth it. They're really satisfying to use, and you'll see from all the different tricks that I show you, all the different things that you can do. All right, so that was number one. Let's see what we got next. So this is going to be how to make a transfer with oil pastels, and I like to call it rainbow line drawing. So what I did was I have a sheet right here that has all different colors on it. And then you put a piece of paper on top and you can draw on here and it will transfer onto the other side of the paper. Or you could do it this way. You could put your clean piece of paper down and then put your oil pastel covered sheet on top of that and draw on here and it will get transferred. But that side's dirty, so we're going to do it on this side. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to do like some little faces. And now if you want to write a word, you have to be careful. Well, actually, yeah, it's not going to work this way. It's going to come out the opposite. So I'm going to write pop backwards. And yep, there you go. So you see how it kind of gives you like rainbow lines? You can use any kind of colors you want. And you can use this sheet over and over again. I've used this probably 6 times by now. So that's really cool. You put that work into it, but then you can use it over and over again. And in terms of brands, when working with kids, I've used Crayola oil pastels, which are a little bit thicker, and those are nice to use. It's better for their grip for little kids. And then these are Sakura Craypa. Oil pastels are also called Craypa. And this set's really fun. It's smaller, you can get more details in, and it comes in so many colors, which is fun. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to blend. So instead of getting the paint out, you can blend colors with oil pastels. So I have 3 sets of primary colors here, and I'm going to make secondary colors by blending in between the 2 colors. So I'm going to get my paper towel here, and I'm going to rub back and forth between the 2 colors. And you can see how in the center, it's blending into an orange. It's kind of a reddish orange because red tends to dominate yellow, but I think you'll see it a bit clearer when we do the yellow and blue. So now, go back and forth on this one. Yeah, you can see this much better. See how it's turning green? So oil pastels is one of the mediums that we're going to be using a lot in our new membership. We have a new membership for kids 7 to 10. It hasn't opened yet. We have a waiting list. If you want to get on the waiting list, you can send us a private message or just send us an email. And we're going to have pre-recorded lessons with all different mediums. We're going to be using clay, paint, drawing, oil pastels, and every week you'll get a new lesson, and we're going to spotlight an artist every time. So we have 4 artists that have agreed to let us use their name and their pictures, which we're really excited about. So this 4th tip is how to scratch and make texture into oil pastels. So there's a few ways you can do this. I'm going to put a thick coat right here. You have to put down a thick coat of this to get the best effect. Okay, so I have an old gift card right here, and I'm just going to scratch. See how that pulled some of the color away? And you can also use something smaller, like maybe a toothpick, or, hold on a second, I'm just getting the tool right here. Or you could use a paper clip that you open up, so it makes a smaller line like that. So I have a tool that I use. It's just like a, I don't know what it's for, but anyway, it has kind of a hard plastic end on it, and this is really good for scratching. A little bit easier to hold than a paper clip. So I got my little sloth here. I love sloths. And I'm just going to make the texture of his fur, and sloths crack me up. They kind of have a part in the middle of their hair right there, which I think is hilarious. If you're having a down day ever and you want to cheer up, you have to watch videos of baby sloths because they are hysterical. So you can see I'm making a fur texture there. You could also use the gift card for this. You have a little less control over this, but nonetheless, it goes a little bit faster. So you just scratch, and I'm picking up a little bit of the oil pastel right there. Also, you know, if you make a mistake, like let's say I use a dirty oil pastel. It's yellow and it's got orange on there. And I want it to be yellow. I don't want these little orange smudges in there. You can take the end of the gift card and scrape away that part like that. And that will take off a lot of it. And then you can go over it with the yellow, and that will cover it a lot better. Oops. Hold on, let me just clean up my oil pastel. So it looks a little better. It doesn't take it all, you know, completely away. And there's 2 ways to clean these. So this one is kind of dirty right there. Oops, sorry, kind of dirty right there. So if you just draw on a scrap piece of paper and pull off that color that you don't want, that works. Or you can wipe it on a paper towel to clean it up, that edge. So I'm going to keep going with this thing. Other things that you can do with oil pastels are, let's say I do a drawing of a sloth, and instead of using oil pastel to make the sky behind the sloth, I can get out my watercolor paints and paint over the oil pastel and around it, and it will not stick to the oil pastel because of the oil. The oil and water, they don't mix. All right. So, and if you get these little crumbs here, it's best not to go like this because you get a little smear like that. It's better to kind of just empty it into a trash bin or something like that. So anyway, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you learned some new things about oil pastels. Again, we did the scratching into the surface for texture. We blended colors. We made rainbow lines, and we used stencils. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I will see you next week at the same time on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day. Bye.